Welcome, everyone. This is the PSBS podcast. I am your host, Andrew Arenas, and this week we're in for a little something different. My co-host, Coty, at PSN Bio Boys, cannot make it out this week for the podcast, so I have here with a very special guest, my good friend here, Emmett, and his PSN name is...
EJ Spun61.
Awesome. And where can people find you on Twitter?
Oh, well, just the same exact thing, man. EJ Spun61. You could probably search for that anywhere. I probably have a Playfire account under that name or some crazy thing.
Oh, interesting. I don't know too many people around those anymore.
Yeah, I have it, but I haven't visited it in like a year.
Well, I'm very excited about this. I mean, this is our first guest on the show, and I have openly, on other episodes of the podcast, I've always talked about casting calls, and I did state last week that none of those, I had ceased those, but in the case for this week, that I knew that I needed to get someone in for this week, and I think with the topics that I have here and the viewer mail that I have, I think you'll be excellent for this week. So,
damn right.
Yeah, this one is going to be quite a doozy. So, in the list of things that there are of this week, we'll probably kind of start from kind of minimal to the more heavy-handed topics of this week. And probably the first one here was one that somewhat surprised me, but then, maybe it was kind of good that PlayStation's first original series, Powers, was just renewed for a second season, just this past week. And I'm not sure if you're into the whole Powers business at B that's going on the PlayStation originals.
Yeah.
Since, this is really PlayStation's second show, technically. They had, what was it?
The Tester.
Yeah, Tester, correct? Yeah.
Dude, I love the Tester.
Yeah, me too, I know. And when I went to actually New York Comic Con, one of the contestants from Tester asked a question about that, like, when's Tester coming? And they were all like, nobody's got inside information on that. So,
my God.
Yeah, Tester was great, and I kind of do wish they bring that back secretly. Like, something in me, some funny stuff came out of that, but, I don't know. Have you ever delved into Powers yet, or did you watch an episode and it kind of put you off? What was your deal?
Here's the thing about Powers. Like, okay, I'm not going to hate on Powers or anything, but here's the thing. I saw the hype coming in for Powers, or not really hype, just talk from Sony, I'm guessing, about Powers coming up. I remember during their, a couple press conferences, they'll talk about it. I'm like, okay, this show looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to the PlayStation Blogcast, and they had this whole long interview from the creator of the show, and I'm like, all right, sounds like there's some good people behind it. And the second that first episode dropped, I'm like, okay, I'll see it later, and then the next episode, and then the next episode.
So you kind of let them stack?
Yeah, I let them stack, and I still haven't even touched the thing. I mean, I'm in college and I'm working. I barely have time for movies, let alone a whole TV series.
This is a 10-hour commitment right here.
Exactly, man.
Mm-hmm. Totally understand.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, so, I kind of was in the same situation there. When it actually launched with the first 3 or 2, I believe, and I watched those, the day it came out, and I wasn't impressed. And what was really just the thing that kind of struck me most about the show, just in general, was that it was very sterile. Like, it didn't really have a style to hold its name to, And in the age where you probably see out there's, on CW you have Flash, Arrow, and Fox you have Gotham, which I know not a lot of people like, but I personally like it and enjoy it.
It has style, though. It does have style.
Yeah, those shows have style, but just Powers, when you look at it, it's very sterile, and it doesn't really have a style to its own, really. Even though it has a really cool concept, and it borrows from pretty influential source material that was actually for The Incredibles, and so it was pretty important. And
dude, I mean, The Incredibles is that's my mom's favorite animated film. She goes crazy about that thing, and I still to this day don't understand why she loves it so much. It's middle-aged mom from the South. I don't get it.
Yeah, The Incredibles was something, man. I mean, when you think about it, that movie's plot line is not that original because it borrows from Watchmen, which I'm pretty sure you're familiar with, maybe, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, you see the contrast in there, Powers, even though the director denies it, he denies any influence from Powers, the Powers comic, and Watchmen. He denies any of that, which really struck me. Which those are really taken from those. But that's a whole other topic. But
yeah.
But I actually had watched all of Powers. I just actually got done with the season finale this morning, and I think after episode 4, I was a bit more engaged in it, and I would actually recommend it to people. It's not a terrible show by any stretch. I just think I would just hopefully wish for season 2 that maybe they toned down the cursing a bit. Like it's not that cursing. It's not that I hate cursing. I'm not Captain America about it, but like.
Yeah,
it
gets overbearing.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And then when you watch the show, it's just. I mean, I don't know if because it's PlayStation original series and they really wanted to capture what it's like being online with all the cursing, but it was a bit much. And maybe with season 2, then it can maybe add maybe something to give it its own style, whether it be different lighting or cinematography to make it kind of just at least have its own style and appeal, because that's what network shows at least try to do, even if they look cheap somewhat, you know?
Yeah, I feel you on that.
So I would just hopefully wish maybe next season they try something like that and, you know, also elevate the story in other unique ways, even though they kind of wrapped it up for this season. And, well, there was the typical, you know, there's a cliffhanger in the season finale, so I won't really go into what that is. So, yeah. And I was opening this to the audience if there could be maybe a smaller cast of Powers, but I haven't gotten any inquiries about that, so I'm not really sure if we're going to do that. Me and my friend, we were pondering about that idea, but...
Yeah, it sounds like a shame, because, you know, for me, the only reason I get interested in most, like, games and movies and TV is if there's, like, a distinct style or personality, or even if you have, like, an engaging character, because...
Oh, yeah.
Like... I'll tell you what, there are plenty of movies where I just don't care until I get engaged with a character, and then I'm just watching all of it.
Then you might have a problem with Powers then, because there isn't a whole lot to latch onto, and I'm just like, you probably maybe not into that if you're gonna be in there for like 10 hours and try and watch all of it, because in the beginning, dude, it does go into like procedural somewhat, but then after like episode 4. It just goes on to like it just goes on a story arc instead of doing the procedural. It like in the beginning it did, but then, you know, after that it had like an arc. So
yeah, it's not even that I hate like procedural type dramas, because I'll tell you what, Criminal Minds. Oh my God, I am like a old lady in a nursing home. I'll just watch Criminal Minds all day if it's on, because I like those characters. Like I'll watch them go to the store and buy toast, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
But it sounds like with Powers that the characters themselves aren't engaging enough to support a structure like that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try to investigate later and try and maybe watch the first couple episodes, see if I can get into it.
Yeah, I mean, certainly a lot of my friends on PSN gave it a chance, since, you know, you can watch some people's, you can look at some people's viewer activity on PSN, like see what they watched recently, and like when it came out, the first few episodes, but a lot of people gave it a chance at least. I mean, it's free, you know, all you really cost is your time for it. So, you know, it had some viewership there, so maybe that's also contributing to the numbers why there would be a season 2. And then my friend had also stated that, you know, it being like the first scripted original series, you know, it would look kind of bad if it got canceled after its first season, you know? So, you know, you maybe at least got to give it 2 seasons before maybe it bites the dust, but who knows? We'll have to see.
Yeah. Who knows about that? Hopefully it works out on season 2. They find their voice or whatever.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I hope so, too, man. All right, so for the next batch of news here was about Guitar Hero Live.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering what your stance was on that, because Guitar Hero Live was announced a couple weeks ago formally, and in competition with Rock Band 4 coming out later this year also, and maybe what your stance is on the returning music games of this year.
See, I'm kind of excited for the general return of music games, because there's 2 sides to it. This whole Rock Band and Guitar Hero type craze when that first came out, I was just barely on the edge of all of that.
Yeah.
Because, I'd go to every other party, they'd have the Rock Band guitars, and, I'd jam out there. I'd go to, I remember when I was at college last year, I think, they still had, Guitar Hero 3 set up at a party.
What?
Which I was surprised.
That's crazy.
And I was rocking out to that a little bit, but... I was less excited about the guitar stuff because, if you like Rock Band and all that things, you have to be a fan of rock music to a certain degree.
Mm.
And sure, there are rock songs I like, but, Def Jam Rap Star, when that came out, I was like, oh my God, it's the second coming. I'm all about hip hop, man. So when that came out, I was like, oh great, I hope they add a whole bunch of other artists with DLC. I hope this continues. And then when Rock Band and Guitar Hero fell off, that fell off too, and just every music song since, or every music game since, except for maybe Rocksmith, has just, fallen off a cliff.
Oh yeah, in terms of sales. But then Rock Band 3, when it came out in 2010, it did actually get quite a bit of support before it stopped with its DLC, because by before 2013, it had songs every single week for Rock Band 3.
Oh wow.
So this is kind of what the edge of Rock Band 4 has over Guitar Hero right now, is that, Rock Band 4 has those catalog of songs already, and Guitar Hero kind of has to start from scratch already again. So, kind of the news of what was today, that, they announced more of the artists that will be there present when the game launches later this year. You have stuff from My Chemical Romance, Rolling Stones, Ed Sheeran, Black Keys, Green Day, Skrillex. That was the question I asked on one of the podcasts. How does one play Skrillex in Guitar Hero?
It's basically like a seizure in your hands. They put that on the box, I think.
Probably. Stuff from
for your hands, fun for your kids.
I know, right? Stuff from Rage Against the Machine, Pantera, System of a Down, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Really some big acts here. I mean, it's just a shame that, Rock Band already has most of those. And I bought those track packs of those artists over the years, but they already have more hits of those in Rock Band already. So, it's just Guitar Hero has to get those back periodically, which is kind of annoying. If we only get, if Guitar Hero Live only has one Green Day song, and Rock Band 4 already has a whole batch of Green Day songs, that's kind of a odd mix.
Yeah, you're already sold on there.
So, there's some decent stuff here. Maybe some things that people don't know. But always a thing with me in music games somewhat is that I do like the discovery of maybe some songs of whether or not it's good or not. So, maybe it could work out for Guitar Hero. But what do you think of the new guitar peripheral?
You're talking about the one for Guitar Hero Live, right?
Yeah, the one for Live.
Yeah, didn't they just minimize it to 3 buttons? Or
yeah, 3 buttons
crazy?
on each side, so you got 6.
Oh. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't actually see the thing, but I did hear about that, and I'm not sure how that's going to work. I mean, sure, it'll be simplified for all the people who just want to, go to a party and play it half drunk or something. But I wonder, because I know people who got really hardcore into those games.
Oh, yeah.
And I question, I'm pretty sure this is going to piss them off to a certain degree where, the layout that they were familiar with and how they knew every single song with is going to be completely gone for them. And
ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah, I wonder if that's going to,
because Rock Band, you can't really change too much about that. I mean, they're going to make some changes in Rock Band 4, definitely, in the initial core gameplay, but the guitar layout's the same, the drum layout's the same, Yeah,
so. People were talking about early on when both of these games were announced that they're coming back again. People were concerned that Rock Band wasn't going to do enough new because it had to support all that DLC, but I'm honestly thinking that the fact that they're not changing it up all that much is going to work to their advantage, because how many people are going to run back to Guitar Hero and be like, this isn't what I liked, and then just give up on it.
That's true, and then, there's only one instrument, and then for the DLC investment, if you already invested in Rock Band a lot, then you might as well just go there, because it's Guitar Hero, you have to start from the beginning again, and that's never attractive, Rock Band for me, it's such an amazing game. I love Rock Band so much, and I'm going to definitely get 4 when it comes out, and I have over 1,500 songs in my library. So, And hopefully most of that will be supported in Rock Band 4 that I know of so far. So, yeah, it's a bit of a predicament that Activision is in. But here's this thing that I always had told my friend, because he isn't a fan of Guitar Hero at all, is that I think Activision is a very smart company. Even though some people will give them flack for Call of Duty and the yearly annualized games. But I think they're a really smart company, and I think that they can figure out a unique way to really market and sell this game to people. And whether or not it's successful, I don't know. But I think just the fact that it's Activision, I think they'll figure out something.
Yeah, I mean, Activision, they rarely ever make... Well, I'm not going to say they rarely ever make a bad game, but they rarely ever make something that isn't profitable.
Mm-hmm.
So they will definitely find a way to get some money out of it.
Yes.
But you know, I have no clue what it's gonna do critically.
Ooh, yeah, I know, right? That's another thing entirely.
Exactly.
And then they're not gonna annualize it, so.
Yeah, because they're probably just gonna do their whole DLC thing. They're probably gonna do it with, like how Destiny, to my understanding, is supposed to work out, where they release that base game and. I don't think they're planning on doing a sequel anytime soon. I think they're just going to be doing DLC.
It's going to be a while for Destiny too. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. And so I think they're going to try the same thing with Guitar Hero and just keep the DLC train rolling until you get a sequel 2 or 3 years down the road.
Very good point. Yeah, that's a good point there. Well, Harmonix is really going to just put Rock Band 4 out as a platform and just try and evolve it and with DLC and then maybe new features instead of a whole nother game.
Yeah.
So
I think Harmonix pretty much has the best horse in this race, to be honest with you, because
yeah, they do.
I don't know. It might just be my bias because I feel like Harmonix actually has people behind them. While who's the studio that makes Guitar Hero?
This Guitar Hero Live is Freestyle Games, who made DJ Hero.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember DJ Hero. DJ Hero was a novel idea.
That's another thing that I also have to remember to the people out there that might maybe are on the fence about Guitar Hero Live, was that DJ Hero was actually a really good game. And
oh yeah, definitely. And
I think Freestyle Games are really good music curators, so I think they can make actually something really neat with this game, possibly. That's my understanding, because I really like DJ Hero a lot. I have a soft spot for it. So
yeah, I wish they'd bring that back. Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if time serves anything, then I guess we'll be seeing a DJ Hero reboot in about 5 years.
At that rate, right? You might as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be amazing. Yeah, with the songs that have recently come out, because like that was its novelty about DJ Hero, is that it brought like the top pop songs of like the current day and like mixed it with all sorts of stuff that you would not even expect it to work.
Yeah, I know, man. And thinking of it, like if it got released, like let's say they do another DJ Hero 5 years from now, then they would reach back. They'd get songs even older than the ones in the last game.
Really?
And then they'd probably do that, but then they'd also twist it with,
oh man,
because it's been 15 years since the year 2000. They will reach back there and get classics, quote unquote classics, to 20 somethings. But it will still sound amazing. I mean, they can do some great things with a musical selection like that, and I think they're going to do something similar in Guitar Hero.
Man, that would be. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, making a lot of good points today. It's just, yeah, I even have the DJ Hero. I have the first DJ Hero game soundtrack on my phone. Listen to it every once in a while, not all the time, but it was fantastic. Like the way they had mixed those songs together in such a way that it was really unique, and it's not like any other. Well, you hear like maybe other DJs out there who maybe mix songs, but not like that from what I've come across. And
yeah,
you can listen to late night radio and songs are mixed, but not to this level where it's like actually good. And I don't know.
Yeah,
that game surprised me back in the day.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if you want to get talking about game soundtracks, that's a whole another 3-hour podcast.
Unfortunately, there is no question about that. But if we have time, maybe.
Yeah, maybe next time, maybe.
But Guitar Hero Live coming out this fall. Don't remember the exact date on it. Maybe there's going to be a date at E3. So we'll
soon, TBH.
Oh yeah, soon. Yeah, and unfortunately, in other news, we also have unfortunately another game delay in 2015 again.
Oh,
is this screaming 2014?
Oh, it's screaming it loud and clear.
I know, right? The Division is another casualty in the long-running amount of game delays that have been happening.
God, I wanted that game so bad.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna be upfront and honest about Division. I haven't been following it all too much. I mean, yes, of course, I looked at the E3 stuff and the gameplay demos that have looked really cool. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. I just haven't been following it too much, and I did somewhat see this one coming. Kind of seeing how Ubisoft is maybe going to rely on other games to like kind of facilitate that. You know, Assassin's Creed, which we'll talk about in a bit, and Just Dance, and other games that'll probably come out, but. Yeah, it's unfortunate that this game got pushed, and I'm not really sure maybe when in 2016. I'm not sure if they said Q1 or anything like that in 2016. I'm not sure if maybe you remember any of the details, but yeah, it's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to that game, but I mean, to be completely honest with you, I think I'm okay with this delay, and there's really only two reasons why. Number one, for the love of God, give me Fallout 4 this year. That's all I want in life. I'll sacrifice my firstborn for it if necessary. Secondly, I just bought Far Cry 4 a couple months ago, and because they're both Ubisoft games, so if Far Cry 4 is anything to believe in, there is gonna be so much stuff to do in the Division.
Oh yeah.
And if it's like in Far Cry 4, you'll have missions. You'll have like missions from 5 different people. But the things that always get me, I always get caught up in are the frivolous things. Like I'll sit there and spend 30 minutes just to get some treasure chest in the corner, or to just get some like ancient Mayan mask or whatever. And I'll spend a whole lot of time. I'm having fun the whole time, but then I look and I've been playing for 50 hours and I haven't even gotten to the second island of Far Cry yet.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I hope that type of thing doesn't happen in the Division, because I want to feel like I'm getting something pretty substantial out of every moment I'm playing. Because you take something, going back to Fallout, take something like Fallout 3, you'll go into a vault, you'll be in there for a good hour or whatever, but you just got something more enriching to the story. Maybe you come out of there with a new follower. You get something more than just, a couple more XP ticks on a meter.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm just hoping they figure out a way to make it more than just a whole lot of XP, which is still going to be fun, but, isn't necessarily as memorable as other games.
And let's also kind of maybe put in perspective here that the last Ubisoft game to really have an online focus, which we see the Division having, right? That it's really focused on maybe cooperative play. Their last game, AC Unity, which tried to do something like that, was a disaster at launch.
Yeah.
So... maybe they just really need to see, if they get some online stuff kinked out, and we're for sure probably maybe going to get a beta or alpha for this, hopefully, right? So
yeah, they better.
I hope so.
Whether or not it's open to us, just have something to test it, for Christ's sake.
I know, something to actually make it work. And because AC Unity was a disaster. We'll talk more about AC Unity in a bit. But it's just... this delay doesn't upset me too much. It's fine. It can be in 2016. Hopefully not too far out, where, maybe it might damage some Ubisoft financials or whatever, but we don't have to worry about that. They make plenty of money. It's just...
Yeah.
I just hope this game comes out at a reasonable time where people are still invested in getting this game. Because Watch Dogs, they got lucky with that. The amount of people... that's still stuck on, even with all the delays of Watch Dogs. It was like the top-selling new IP before Destiny.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
I mean, people really only hooked on the Watch Dogs off of one demo.
I know, right?
I mean, that was just, they were paying for hope at that point. I mean, the game was fine, but they were paying for hope.
Exactly. So, yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe we'll get some more news out of the Division at E3, possibly new gameplay, or... maybe other Ubisoft games to facilitate that.
I don't think if they announce anything at E3, definitely probably not coming this year, but maybe some gameplay if it's coming out next year.
Yeah, maybe some updated stuff on the gameplay. That would be really nice.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that.
I appreciate that very, very much. Now, speaking of even more Ubisoft, formally today, the new entry in the Assassin's Creed franchise was announced. Surprise, surprise. It's clockwork at this point. Just like Call of Duty. This one is called Assassin's Creed Syndicate. And yeah, this one is quite interesting. I watched the kind of like the live stream of the premiere trailer or whatever, and I don't know, it just really struck me that in that first video they showed was, them in the office or whatever, like Ubisoft offices, and they were like really hard struck about, oh, we failed with AC Unity, well, not failed, but took some missteps in AC Unity, I should say,
Yeah,
right?
that's for sure.
And I've played AC Unity. I'm actually still playing it right now to just kind of get a bit more perspective of the game. Mm-hmm. I have mixed feelings about the game. I think there are some things in it that I find really redeemable about AC Unity, but at the same time, there are also things about it that are not well designed and, quite frankly, not good at all. So I am giving it its chance right now because, how well versed are you with the Assassin's Creed franchise? Have you played? What was the last one you played?
Well, I'm fairly versed in the AC franchise.
Yeah.
I played, really didn't touch 1, but then again, who has? But 2, I ate up 2. I love that game a whole lot. Brotherhood, I played that to completion. I played that a good bit too.
Me too.
I'm actually playing Revelations right now, and I have 3 on the shelf as well. And I did the Vita one too because, came with it, had to play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't really touched anything from this console generation, so nothing Black Flag, nothing Unity.
Oh, dude, you gotta play Black Flag. Black Flag
I know, everyone says Black Flag is a bee's knees, but these bees aren't buzzing in my corner quite yet.
Don't worry, they will be soon. Maybe once it's like at discount and you get it, and you'll be like, whoa, this is like a lot for my money. Like, if you get that game for like $20 even.
Oh yeah, I'm counting on it. Within the next couple of months, it's going to be $20. I'm going to get it because I just won't be able to help myself.
If it even comes with like the Freedom Cry DLC or whatever, which adds like quite a bit, not too much, but yeah, oh my gosh, like if you get that game for like $15-20, it's like totally worth it. So much in there.
Definitely.
But AC Unity, on the other hand, was a game I didn't purchase at launch. Actually, I purchased it like after Black Friday when it was like $40. It just, like, even when I had first played it, there were a lot of technical bugs that I had come across, and it just wasn't doing it for me. Even the story wasn't even doing it for me. So like I had stopped playing it for like the longest time, and then I deleted it from my hard drive, and then I recently had reinstalled it. And I've been playing it a bit more, just exploring the world. Kind of similar to maybe what you would do in like Far Cry, is just like explore the world, not even do the regular missions.
Yeah.
So, and the thing about maybe what this design scheme of Ubisoft games, excluding Far Cry actually, because Far Cry doesn't fall into this criteria that I'm going to state right here, is that I don't like that when you pop up in the map, like everything is there already. Like I like that. I like that you have to discover things first before you actually like are able to attack things on the map. Because Far Cry doesn't fall into that criteria. You know why? Is because like everything's like fogged out, right? And then as you go around, as you periodically play, you're able to maybe discover things along the way. But then when you get to Watch Dogs and even the Crew and Assassin's Creed, those rules don't apply. And it's just the complete other way. And that's the thing that I don't like the most about open world design in games at all. I think it should really stick much to the Far Cry and Grand Theft Auto tactic, instead of letting the player discover it first, rather than the game telling you how to discover it. So
it kind of
it ruins the mystery a little bit and discovery in the first place of open world games to actually keep you engaged. Which AC Unity did not keep me engaged. That's why I did not play it for the longest time before I did recently. So, because I gave a lot of time in Assassin's Creed 3 specifically before I kind of gave my final verdict, because I didn't even beat the campaign of Assassin's Creed 3, but I gave that game 24 hours. I gave that game a whole 24 hours, and I did not like it.
Well, that's disappointing. I got it on my shelf. I was going to play that next.
I don't know. It was back then, dude, like when I was in the hype. Maybe you might have like a different perspective. That's fine. Because there are some people out there that I do know that like AC3. But just in the back then, dude, when I was like kind of falling in the hype of AC3, it is just, the pacing is terrible in AC3. I have never come across a game where the pacing has been that bad.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about it. How you're a kid for the first 5 hours of the game or something.
Oh my god! Like you don't. Where do you
Suppressed
play?
memories.
Where do you play a game where you don't even get to play the character that's even on the box for the first 5 hours? Okay, granted, Grand Theft Auto 5 does do that same tactic with Trevor in GTA 5. You don't come across him till a very long time when you play, depending how you play GTA 5. But still, you at least get to play the first two characters on the damn box. But with AC3, and just the way that the story worked and everything, it just didn't do it for me. And it looked really good at the time. It was like a big step up in the engine.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But, there were also, not dwelling on negatives too much, because I did talk at length about AC3, is that, on other episodes, is that, I like the boat stuff a lot, and, that translated to AC4 really well.
Yeah.
And dude, everything about the presentation in that game was like a 10 out of 10. Without a doubt, the way the graphics look and the way it sound, and all the historical research that was probably needed to make those environments, 10 out of 10. But just about everything else surrounding the game, even from the gameplay, the way the game controls, side missions, main missions, story, some characters, lower, less than a 5 out of 10. So
Ouch.
when you have that, it doesn't work. And
sounds like a turd so pretty you thought it was chocolate.
Yeah, in a way for AC3, but kind of not to put you down, because you will play it and you'll find things to enjoy in AC3. Don't get me wrong. It's just, for me personally, just around that time when I played it back in 2012, it hit me hard. I spent $60 on that game. I was just so disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I know what I'm going into at this point, because many years have passed. I know what the problems are, and what I've been doing recently is, if I pay for a game, I will get all the way through it despite any problems I have with it, because god damn it, I paid my money.
I know,
I'm getting everything out of it that I can. But recently I just don't have enough time to do stuff like that. I'll put a game down if it's just not grabbing me within the first couple of hours. So, if Assassin's Creed 3 does end up doing that to me, I'll just drop it. But I'm hoping it doesn't, because the Assassin's Creed games are pretty good to me, so we'll see.
Okay. Well, that's fair. I mean, yeah, you should definitely, you should definitely play 4, and, if you find a way, maybe somehow also try Unity, see what you think of it, and then, let's talk about that. What's at hand, Syndicate, which was just announced, was, this one takes place in London in 1868, around the time of the Industrial Revolution. So maybe it might have some things that maybe are similar that look like From the Order 1886. I don't know.
Galahad cameo confirmed.
Maybe. Even though, we'll talk about the Order later. But, the Order. And then this one also has 2 playable characters. Whether or not it has a GTA tactic where you're able to switch between them at any given time, we don't know. But, I
didn't actually see there was a second playable character.
Yeah, there is a second playable character.
Oh, wow. I gotta check that out. That sounds a little bit more interesting than the usual Assassin's Creed fare.
Oh, yeah. This one, you're also a gang leader.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like gangs, not just because I'm black.
Is this what she is, in case you can't see him? You are a gang leader. And let's talk about 2 main points that maybe we'll go before we get into some viewer mail here, is that the developers really wanted to stress, ever since AC Unity, was that they wanted to make an ease of movement and refine movement in Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
They had tried to do that with AC Unity, and it worked for the most part, and I'll say why. Okay, they added a crouch button in AC Unity, which you may be thinking why is Assassin's Creed maybe
2009?
Yeah, why is Assassin's Creed need a crouch button? Well, it did, and it really didn't work in AC Unity. The way you would stick onto cover was just completely sloppy and just did not work. And at least handed to developers that made AC Unity was that it was a little easier to climb down buildings. It looked really smooth the way you would climb down buildings, as opposed to other Assassin's Creed games where you would like go one ledge at a time. Instead, in Ace Unity, it was like a unison. It was like really like fluid movement. You know, it didn't feel like you were stalled when you were trying to like go down buildings. So with Syndicate, they're trying to even refine that even more, which I hope they do.
I saw in like one trailer they had like a little grappling hook type thing. Yeah, that seems cool because if there's one problem I have with the Assassin's Creed series, it's that traversal. Because you got in Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood even, I could deal with it. The traversal has always been a little bit finicky. Like, there's always like some set path on a building that they expect you to take, and if you're like a pixel off of that, then your character just ends up, you know, just going every which way. And by the time I got to Revelations, I'm just like, all right, I'm a little... I wish they'd just go where I want them to, and I feel like I've been spoiled because, you know, one of my favorite franchises, or two of my favorite franchises, Infamous and Saints Row 4, they both did traversal just very, very well, and sure, they're cheating because they got superpowers to work with, but I think Assassin's Creed could definitely take a couple pages from them because with the use of that grappling hook, I'm thinking that's going to be something similar to Infamous Second Son, where you know, you can climb up the building if you want to, or you could just, you know, blast your way to the top with, like, the neon power, the video power.
Oh, you're talking, like, Infamous?
Yeah, and Second Son, yeah.
Like, Infamous Second Son and First Light. Those games are so much fun to just, like, traverse around, man. Like,
oh, yeah, you are right about that.
Like, even in Saints Row also, which I'll also give it credit for, even though I haven't played too much of Saints Row, like, past 3, I played a little bit of Get Out of Hell.
It gets good after 3, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's just I do like the traversal of the Saints Row games a lot. And GTA, it's on a league of its own because, you know, it's a little bit more grounded, if you won't even say that. And then, you know, you drive around in vehicles most of the time. But yeah, it's so much fun to just traverse around in those games, and I want Assassin's Creed to be that game again. Somewhat, even if it didn't maybe achieve those heights before, really, because you know people had control problems with Assassin's Creed even at the start of its infancy. So
yeah, that's true.
It needs to be in that league in open world games now because just about every open world game is having that like traversal hook to it, where it's like it's fun to just go around in the city, even if you're not doing side missions, just it's fun to traverse. And I feel like Assassin's Creed needs to be that again. And
I agree with you.
And if it isn't, then it's not going to have like a long-lasting appeal other than just playing the campaign and just getting out and go home.
Yeah, I feel like a clear sign that your traversal is not working in a game is how many times that fast travel system is used.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because if you are using that fast travel over and over again, that means you do not like going around. You do not like running around that place, because even if Infamous Second Son had fast travel, but I didn't care because
Second Son did have fast travel. I barely
exactly. You completely missed it because you're having so much fun zipping around with neon or just skipping around with video, all that stuff. It was great.
Yeah.
So I hope Assassin's Creed can do the same thing because boy, it gets rough as the games go on.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto, there was also Grand Theft Auto 5 also had fast travel, but I barely used it because I always enjoyed being in the car, going in other ways to traverse and listening to the radio. Same with Saints Row. So
yeah, I love that. Man, I could talk about Saints Row. That's another 3-hour podcast.
Oh boy, that could always be something.
Yeah, definitely.
But let's see here. No, this is probably the last point about Assassin's Creed before we'll get into the viewer mail for today, is that Assassin's Creed Syndicate does not have multiplayer, which is a stray away from their last game, AC Unity, where it was very advertised that, hey, play with your buddies, do co-op missions. What do you think about the inclusion of just a single-player based game?
I think that's one of the best decisions they could have made because
I know.
Even going back to Brotherhood, where they had the competitive multiplayer, it was fun. And I like the idea of it. Like, the fact that they could even think of a franchise like that and make it multiplayer, that's just an impressive thing to think about. But in practice, it wasn't all that fun. It wasn't all that engaging. Co-op, I feel like, alleviates some of that problems because, you know, a lot of Assassin's Creed is messing with the AI and stealth and everything. And when you're with co-op instead of with actual people, it's probably easier to do that. But it just seemed like there's really no reason for it to exist. And Assassin's Creed really shines when it has that story and those set piece moments, or a couple set pieces. They're not known for set pieces, but
Yeah, they got
really
some in there. Some.
Yeah, there's some in there. It's really the single player moments that shine about those games. No one's ever talking about Assassin's Creed for the multiplayer or the co-op, so I'm glad they're sticking to the single player, because that's definitely going to hook me. And if you're cheap like me, then they'll probably get a price drop sooner because of it.
Dude, these games. Here's the funny thing about Assassin's Creed. Well, trust me, because when they come out like in November, right?
Yeah.
Which is like clockwork at this point. Is that Black Friday is about to loom in, and Christmas, and they drop insanely quick.
Yeah, I predicted. It's always the Assassin's Creed games. It's all those single player games, because people are pretty much done with them in a weekend, so the value of it goes down if it's, well, maybe not with an Assassin's Creed game, since if you're beating that in a weekend, good God, but for all these other single player games, you're done with them pretty quickly, so the price goes down because the value of it goes down. But I still love games like that. I'd rather play one game in a week and move on to the next than to play a 1,000,000-hour RPG sometimes. So those games definitely hit the spot. I hope Assassin's Creed hits somewhere in the middle, since it is an open world game.
Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah, and there's going to be quite a bit of games this year that are going to take up like a lot of time.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to handle it. And if Fallout 4 does actually end up coming out this year, then I'm just going to buy that. I'm just going to take off work for a few days and just hide away from society until I've done everything I can.
Oh yeah, same here. Alrighty. Well, that's about enough for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Definitely coming out this year, like clockwork. So hopefully people are looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it to see how it redeems the franchise and moves it forward. Let's go into some of the viewer mail that we actually have this week.
Okie dokie then.
And time. We have... This one comes from my PSN buddy, Omar Snow. And he asked... Well, I'll just read his message here. He says, here's my question. I know MGS5 is not a PS exclusive, but MGS has always been associated with the PlayStation brand. What do you guys think of all the drama between Kojima and Konami? PT being removed from the store, and Kojima's name being removed from MGS5's credits. That I cannot confirm 100%, but he's asking 3 questions here. Oh jeez. The Konami and the Kojima thing can be a whole nother deal.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe kind of like a quick stance of what you maybe think of that about that.
Yeah, that whole thing, that's just really upsetting. But it's also really understandable at the same time, because as millions of people have been saying already, Konami isn't really that much of a game company anymore. No. They're moving to they're really big in Japan for a whole bunch of non-gaming stuff.
Yeah, I've lived in Japan for about 3 years, and they, similar to Sega, because when I was in Japan, Sega also had some they also did have gaming stuff outside, where it was you can play in these specific Sega arcades, but they were more than arcades. They were arcades on steroids, where you would also have restaurants in them and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah, and
I gotta get to Japan.
I know, exactly. And kind of the same applies with Konami, where they also have other things in Japan that maybe aren't game related for putting games out on consoles. So I definitely see that situation happening with Konami soon, seeing as I don't really have anything other than Metal Gear at this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and actually, me and my friend, we actually had pondered doing a whole podcast actually dedicated to this bit of news. So maybe I won't dabble it too much into here. We actually do end up doing one, because PT was actually just removed from the PlayStation Store last week.
Yeah, that sucks too.
So I just think, not to cut you off, but given the time, I think maybe we'll have to save this one topic for maybe another week, and maybe you can join in as well with me and my friend as we discuss kind of the future, maybe what holds for Konami.
Hey, I'm totally down. I'll be up for it.
That sounds awesome. Just given the time, it's just there's so. Just in summary, right? It's insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
I feel you.
Yeah, totally insane. Let's see. This one comes from also another PSN friend that goes under the alias of Superhuman, which I don't know.
Jesus has a PSN name?
Yeah, I believe that's... Oh, no, his PSN name is The Reaper 50.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought his PSN name was Superhuman. That would have been a good joke to make.
Yeah, that would have been something.
Oh boy.
Since you've been talking about RPGs, he asked, "What is your ideal RPG? What time period? What style is it? Quest driven? Are there NPC? I'm reading this as is. Or does everyone get love?"
Does everyone get love?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm reading this as is, dude. I'm not gonna. So, what is your ideal RPG? Like, Fallout
Okay.
style or Japanese?
Here's the thing. I'm a Japanese RPG would be fine, but I'm more into the Fallout style RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily a shooter per se, but like in a perfect world, I want like a combat RPG, something along the lines of because something like Shadow of Mordor has RPG elements.
Shadow of Mordor, I love that game.
Oh yeah, that I'm playing that too, and oh my god,
on
that's just
PS4?
fun. Yeah, on PS4. Yeah.
Oh, good. Just making sure because that PS3 version is awful. Just making sure. Dude,
Yeah,
I love.
I got both over here, so I'll
that game. That game was my game of the year last year. I love Shadow of Mordor so much.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, it's living up to my expectations so far. But
Okay.
yeah, I'd want something along the lines of a of a combat game like that, because in my head, what I'm thinking of, I'm really just making all this up after hearing that question. But I would want a Fallout style RPG with just it's a huge like open world thing, and think of it in the sense of like God of War, how you always start off, you know, they take your weapons away at the beginning of the game or something crazy like that, and then you just build yourself up to some massive level to go take on, you know, your Zeus, or to go take on some god at the end of the game.
Oh yeah.
Think of like a big massive open world RPG, and everything's open to you, but you can't do everything quite yet. You got to
Work your way up.
Yeah, you got to work your way up. Maybe you got to find the right weapon to go here and to go there. And it'll seem like it's non-linear, but, you know, there's actually, you know, a couple different paths to get to the final boss ultimately. And so I think a game like that would just be amazing.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's talking about time period and everything. I just want, for some reason, I don't know why I want this so bad, set it with like high schoolers in modern day. Or like within the 10-year span of now, because I think something about that would be just so great. Because that's one subject that isn't brought up a lot in video games. Just how are kids, like a coming of age story in a video game rarely happens. Like the only thing I can think of is like what's that one game coming out? Life is Strange, I think it's called.
Yeah, that's an adventure game series. That's from the developers of Remember Me, and it's published by Square Enix.
Yeah. I mean, that game just sounds really cool, just based off that premise. Because no one else is making
I played
games
the
like
first
that.
2 episodes. It's great. You should definitely. Well, if you want to wait for all the episodes, that's great. But yeah, it's great so far.
Yeah, I wish someone would tackle something like that, because especially with today, because my God, the internet changes up everything for people of that age, and so just somehow to where. Just some way where they could do that. Oh God. Okay. Here, I'm gonna let you say the topic, because I just had another idea in my head, and I'll come back to it once you're done. I'll
my
be quick
ideal
about it.
RPG. Oh jeez. Like I would want it to be in first person. I've always been used to first person RPGs a lot. I know you can play Fallout in third person, but I honestly don't play Fallout in third person all that much. I would want it in first person. And I would like it maybe set in space, like in Mass Effect.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe, now I'm thinking about, do I want Mass Effect 4 to be first person, basically? Just, like, have it first person. And, you know, I want my voice. I want my character to have a voice, because in Fallout, your character doesn't have a voice. You just have the text.
Yeah, that's kind of lame, but, you know, I can read.
Yeah, I know, right? I wonder if Fallout 4 will do that, but we'll see. I would like to be set in space and possibly, like, maybe just have it Knights of the Old Republic, but just in first person.
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
I would love a Star
that sounds
Wars
great.
game. That's a RPG. I wanted basically another one of those. Because I remember playing it on PC and even the original Xbox back in the day, and those games were fantastic.
Yeah, I definitely can't be mad at that choice.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything first person makes me feel like I'm there.
Yeah.
So whenever I play an RPG like that, it's always good. Can I say my one little idea that popped into my head?
Sure.
Okay, think of this now. Batman Arkham Asylum type of gameplay.
Yeah.
Put it in like a college or a really big high school, whatever have you. Now here's the final kicker. John McClane's there. It's Die Hard. You're saving hostages. You're learning about all these students and how they all relate to each other just through, the storytelling from the environment, similar to the Last of Us games. And you're doing all this sneaking into air vents, shooting people with silenced pistols. You're getting in all these fist fights. And there's your game. There's your dream game right there. It's a Die Hard sequel that we have always wanted.
Oh yeah, I know. It says that crappy movie that came out a couple years ago. I don't even want to remember it. That's like the one we don't speak of, right?
Exactly.
Terrible.
But yeah, that'd be a dream come true. Just all that, just mix into one. That'd be. I'm gonna think about that when I go to sleep.
And that's a really cool idea, actually.
Yeah, someone please steal that. As long as you mention that I said it first.
Ooh.
Looking at you, Rocksteady. You're done with the Batman games. Just roll into this.
I know. Oh man, that would be something.
Oh God, that'd be great.
Man, that was a fun question.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
Props to whoever sent that in.
Yeah, no, Mr. Superhuman Reaper 50. Hope I got your PSN right.
Thanks, bud.
I also got like a couple other ones, but I didn't deem them as really worthy, unfortunately. So they were
Step your game up, folks.
Sometimes I get questions about game release dates and whether or not this X game is cross-buy, and I mean, I answer them personally about that. It's not really anything that's like show worthy.
Yeah, I feel you on that one too.
Yeah. So yeah, that about wraps it up for the PSBS episode 16. I just want to thank you all for listening in this week, and yeah, we'll definitely go back, not to normal, but back to kind of the original format.
Am I not normal?
Back to no, this isn't normal. Just kidding. Now you're welcome here anytime. We always post on Wednesdays, and we record on Wednesdays too. But today was a special matter, so yeah, always welcome to come back, and and I guess I can maybe formally announce this here is that I am open also to anybody else that can maybe fill in this third chair. Also, I'm more than fine with that. Just hit me up on PSN preferably, or just direct message me there and just send me an inquiry, and I'll see to you. And then I would like to get in a party chat and then talk it up and see what we can do. Do you have anything else maybe you want to say to the people that we have?
No, I'm pretty good. I mean, I think I said this at the top of the show already. Follow me on Twitter if you prefer to. EJSponge61. I'm the idiot with a Christmas background, smiling with his thumbs up, wearing a comedy button shirt. It's really hard to miss.
Excellent. I am on PSN, double is, same on Twitter. Don't tweet there too much, but I mean, I really use it for news. So with about that, I wish everyone a good week, a good day, and enjoy everything else that's been out. Witcher 3 is in 1 week. And speaking of more RPGs, Witcher 3 is next week.
Oh boy, those fantasy role-playing games, man. Goodbye life.
I know, exactly. So, yeah, Witcher 3 is coming. People, I'm sure, are ready. And I'm not sure if I'm ready. So it's a lot to take in. But yeah, I hope everyone has a good week.
Yeah, and stay positive unless you have HIV, then don't.
Oh, no. Very, very dark and dire.
Yeah, that's bad.
Alrighty. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the PSBS, and we will see you next week. Alright, can you pause the recording now?
Alright.